3 shots, 4 par, I just do 2. 1 putt, par 4, birdie, woohoo. New driver, info, replace, M2, par 5, fairway, what you fin do? Think I'll try to get on into, start right, good line, good view, it drew, shoot.
This episode is brought to you by our friends over at Swannies. Clear your closet and get ready to upgrade your fall golf wardrobe over at swannies.co using the promo code SCREWS25. At swannies.co using the promo code SCREWS25. Celebrate pars. Lighting's done. Ring lights, RIP.
Yeah, no, it's still cooking. We just gotta prop her back up and not touch the
Looks kind of cool. You know that one cheesy reel that people were doing where they like held it over their head or whatever? That's kind of what it just looked like.
When TikTok trend.
Yeah, it was a TikTok thing when you sat there with it over your head. There you go. Oh my God, what a content piece. What an absolute content piece for us here. This is great. All right, man. Well,
gotta get naked and then do it.
You good, Nathaniel? We just roll in, man, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, I'm good to go anytime.
This is number 160 for us here, so.
Whoa!
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
We've been doing this.
Just rolling.
160 Fridays in a row, man. It's been a long time. So I was telling Nathaniel before he hopped on, Bryce, we got some good things cooking right now. We're doing a little bit of work with a sim local to me.
Sorry.
That ring light's just toast, man.
We might have some technical difficulties mid-pod here, but
okay.
We'll deal with it.
Bryce will go dark. But, we're doing a little bit of work with a sim, a local sim and stuff, which is cool. So hopefully have a couple things cooking there. And then, obviously, our friends over at Swannies and stuff like that. Manscaped. It's all good, man. It's all good. But, episode number 160. We got Nathanial Coombes, pretty local guy to us here. I know Bryce is not local to the area anymore, but just up in Port Perry right now. So, Nathaniel, can you give us like an introduction? Tell the listeners who you are, maybe how you got started playing the game, and then we'll just roll in from there.
Yeah, definitely a pleasure to be on here with you guys, chatting about the game we all love. That's for sure.
Hey, that's a stretch some days, but yeah. Yeah, we do, man. We do.
Yeah, for sure. I guess I've obviously been around the game a decent amount. Started kind of in a farmer's field when I was about 7, 8 years old, just for kicks and giggles, hitting balls around animals into farmer's fields 24/7. And then I guess one thing led to another as I grown. And I fell in love with the game even more. I kind of hopped into the tournament industry and at about probably age 12, 13. And that's where I just kickstarted everything on I think the tour was the Durham Junior Golf Tour, just a local tour down here in the Durham region. Good friends with the Eistons personally now. But yeah, that's where everything started. And then I guess one thing led to another, playing it competitively. Started winning tournaments my last few years on the tour, and then transferred over to Durham College. Not really where I wanted to be. I wanted to go Division I, Division II, and all that route, but I would have had to take a nice little gap year after high school. But I just kind of thought, why not get school done and over with? I already know what I want to do with my life, and I guess financially is the best route to go. So in and out Durham College, won my second event in. I won a one-day event out in Barrie, Ontario, at a course called, I think it was Heritage Hills, if I'm not mistaken. And then continued playing that year, finished pretty well in the OCAAs, and then nationals as well. And then COVID hit, which was a big downfall for us all here in Ontario, I guess, playing things at a collegiate level. So everything shut down, and then that's where my love for coaching came into play a little bit. And then went out to Coppenwood with John Roy, started doing junior camps here and there, and then turned pro last year, which was a blessing in disguise. Wasn't planning on turning pro this early, but I guess one thing leads to another in life. You never know what tomorrow brings. And now I'm here, I guess here a year after, coaching 24/7, but also still chasing the dream of playing golf professionally.
Right on, man. I like that. That was such a nice
That was a good intro.
Yeah, it's so good. That was
Mac
awesome.
here for Manscaped. Gentlemen, our friends over at Manscaped have been working night and day to bring you a below-the-waist grooming experience like none other with their brand new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. We're talking about a next-generation trimmer with interchangeable blade heads for whatever shave a mind can imagine. AI is cool, but I think this might be the best technology advancement the world has ever seen. Upgrade your grooming game to the Ultrasphere this year by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping using the promo code OTS Golf. High tech for low prices. Manscaped OTS Golf for 20% off plus free shipping. We'll see you in the Ultrasphere.
I'm currently taping my ring light with some clear tape, so bringing my Canadian and hockey into the golf.
So Nathaniel, you said that you kind of know what it is that you want to do with your life. Is that golf related? What you're kind of wanting to do? Like, you know, you mentioned kind of post secondary and stuff like that, going to college. Why you chose the Durham College route? You know what you want to do already, golf related or not?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely want to be in the golf industry some way, somehow. But where exactly in the golf industry is yet to be determined. Like I'm still young, still 22 years old. So I kind of think of myself as a young a young professional in both the playing competitively, but also the coaching angle as well. I guess not many people my age are doing what I do. Um, so I guess wherever life takes me, that's where I'll go. I'll live my life, I guess, in Fast and Furious terms, quarter mile at a time. Wherever that goes, I guess, no matter what, that's where you're supposed to be.
So I'm trying to think of the timeline. If you're 22, did you play with Jaxie at all?
Jaxie, last name?
Colin Jax
Colin Jax, no, but he's
might have been just before you, I guess.
yeah, I think he was. I
Well,
think his
Durham
last name
College?
was
Yeah.
2017, if I'm not
You
mistaken.
know Ryan Trapp?
Yeah, I know Ryan Trapp very well. Played my first year with him,
No,
and
okay.
then yeah, he moved on quickly. I think he's the
He's at
head
Kawartha,
pro
I think.
now at the Quarry or something.
Yeah, or the Corey, not Kawartha. Yeah, I worked at Cherry with him for 2 or 3 years, so
Okay, yeah.
I'm pretty close with him. And then you said the Matt Easton was actually a member there, so I was pretty
Yeah,
close
yeah.
with him too. So
Yeah, all good buddies of mine, that's for sure.
nice.
Yeah.
Do you like Durham? Fun?
Yeah, it was interesting, especially I guess after my first semester in school and playing golf. Everything just kind of shut down immediately once COVID hit. And that was kind of a awkward period of time where golf courses shut down as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So literally I was stuck at home on my computer daily, grinding out school, watching YouTube videos, just trying to, I guess, keep myself occupied, maybe hitting golf balls in the snow in the backyard or whatever. But yeah, it was a good time of my life, I'd say. Definitely brought lots of positivity into my life, as far as my playing competitive, especially winning my second event, heading into 2019 with the college itself. And then, yeah, I mean, I guess some of us have regrets in life. I think that it was definitely a blessing, but definitely would have liked to go play Division 1 golf somewhere down in the U.S. where I could play year round, 24/7, just to, I guess, bring my talents to another level at a younger age.
So do you think like the college route up here, in your like most honest opinion, do you think that it's like hindering the golfers up here, like whether it be all year round or maybe not quite as much exposure, kind of like you were mentioning?
Yeah, it's definitely a tough situation here in Canada. I guess the top schools, college, university. I guess UBC is one of the top schools. Humber College. Um, but I guess comparing it down to Division 1, Division 2, it's a total different ballgame. Like
Yeah.
I'm the assistant coach now of the Durham College team after being 2 years out of college. Just a talent, I guess, playing myself at their level and just being around the game. The talent is completely different, I would say, but definitely they're very good athletes, especially going through. I guess some people are doing trades where they're not really 100% focused on golf 24/7 compared to, I guess, some Division One athletes where they're grinding their ass off 6-7 days a week, but also doing schoolwork on top of that. So it's definitely a total different breed here in Ontario, Canada, college level, compared to any, I'd say, pretty much Division One, Division Two, and Division Three golf. Just the talent's just totally different, that's for sure.
Well, we talked to a lot of guys, like even like I'm thinking of when we were talking to Parker Haynes, and he was at Finley, and he was talking about like their team was just like, it was pretty big, like they had like, and all the guys would go deep too, like they were, you know, for Division Two school, they were pretty solid, and all the guys were just like solid players, like they'd be all floating around par or better. We've been lucky enough to speak with Andy Walker, who's like one of the best. He's one of the best coaches in the country now in the States, but he's at VCU. But when he was at Lynn University, they were the best D2 college in the country, and like he was saying the same thing. He's got guys shooting 65 on the regular, right? So it's just the difference is like in the D1 rankings, every single one of them does. In the D2 rankings, maybe there's, you know, one or two guys that kind of stand out, and then D3 and 4, you know, or D3 and then onward, right? So the college game up here, like there's still obviously a lot of gems that can go out and a lot of really good players, right? Like, so I did want to talk about like the Canadian Open qualifier and stuff like that and how well you played there, but there's obviously guys that are maybe not, whether they're not as focused on the game or they're just didn't get the opportunity to be exposed to it as much, right? So
well, it's also the facilities and resources too. Like comparing Durham College to like a high D1 school is like night and day, right? Like facilities and money and all that. And not saying that kids aren't good that go to the lower end schools that don't have the big facilities, but I mean, when you can take advantage of those facilities every day, like you just get that much better, right?
More opportunity too, right? So even like you mentioned Nathaniel at like UBC, like our guy Ziggy, like Ziggy's become a pretty good friend of mine now, and like he went to UBC and same type of thing. They're probably the top Canadian university, like one of them anyway, right? So, and you know, but they would have a really hard time competing with a D1 school, really hard time, because it's just the depth of the talent, right? So, do you think that that's something that you would, you know, if you could do it all over again, would you try it? Would you try and go down and play, or did you enjoy the Durham College experience?
Just for my love as a competitive athlete, 100%. I'd rather go Division One. Just to, I guess, talking to some of my buddies down there right now and some of the clients that I coach as well. Just the opportunities that they have down there compared to here in Canada, from the practice facilities to the courses they play, and all the connections they have out there to, I guess, further develop their self coaching wise, or I guess any other route that they want to do in life. I think the opportunities, as you guys mentioned, are completely different down south than they are down here.
Well, and also too, they're playing more year round, like all year round, right? So there's more opportunity to go out and play. There's, you know, and there's a lot more funding there. So we've been lucky enough in the past. We had Russell Budd on. He was with the Toronto Players Tour. He's with PGA Tour Canada now, but like the Players Tour is something new. It's only been around a few years, and it's a great opportunity for a lot of the guys who are on the pod here. A lot of the guests that we've had to be able to kind of gain that exposure, gain entries into some of these events and stuff like that, right? So it's coming. It's just there's so many. There's 1,000,000,001 little mini tours down south too, if you want to kind of hone your game a little bit more and play more regularly too, right? So
definitely.
But there's an expense with everything too that's attached to everything, right? So
that's a total different side of life right there. It's a financial aspect.
Yeah. So
not cheap.
So right now, how's the game? Like, where's the game at right now for you, Nathaniel?
Game's pretty solid, I'd say. It's definitely tough juggling two different lives right now, especially, I guess, coming from a family that's not, I guess, financially 100% stable. It's kind of juggling, making sure there's income in the back pocket, but also developing my game to a whole different level is just a tough area of life, I'd say, right now. Just making sure both areas are exactly where I I guess, where I want them to be, but also continuing to the next level coaching and playing as well. But I'd say the game's solid right now. Like I played the Dirty Schwa Offshore Golf and Curling Club. For the people that don't know, played it the other day in cold weather, and I still got the game for, I guess, the professional life, but I guess it's all about nitpicking now, gaining half a shot here and there just to make sure you get a paycheck day to day, whether that's mini tours or like a Canadian Open qualifier.
Yeah, so if we can, that Canadian Open qualifier that we got chatting,
Yeah.
like we had Cam on that week, and then I don't know, I don't think we had Vim on, but we had a few guys that were in the field within a few weeks there. Gordo, a couple other guys too went on to Cottonwood. So how was that event for you? How was that kind of, would that be one of the bigger events? You said you just turned pro recently, so would that be one of the bigger events that you played in so far?
That's my second time being in the Monday qualifier for a Canadian Open. So I went last year as an amateur, qualified. Where'd I go? I know I went to the Canadian Open this year. Oakdale, played that course. That was a hectic time, that's for sure. But yeah, playing this year, and it's definitely one of the majors in my career right now, as far as a competitive standpoint. And I guess this year, Daniel Kim, a good friend of mine, he coaches with John Roy and I at Golf Performance Coaches as well. I guess competing with him and a bunch of other Gordo, Kellett, and everyone, it's definitely a highlight of my career so far. But like I said, I'm still 22 years old. Most people are a little bit older than me, like Gordo, Daniel Kim, for an example. So I think I got a little bit more time on my hands than a few other individuals. So hopefully it's not the highlight of my career, but you never know where life will take you.
Yeah, Gordo's he's an old guy now. He's been on he's just a
like
vet
20,
on the pod.
26, 27.
Yeah, he's my age. He's 26.
Yeah, he's a vet on the pod. He's been on around here. He's been on 2 or 3 times, I think, now. So, but so you say age is on your side, which is great. I don't.
Which is true.
If you're looking at me, I don't have age on my side anymore. And you mentioned like the trades and stuff like that. That's kind of what I did. I found it was really hard. I had a trade background. And I found it was extremely hard to focus on golf at that time. Like very hard to play golf. It's just a really demanding schedule. You're going like Monday. At the time I was going Monday, Wednesday, Friday. And then I was also working the off days. And if I didn't go to school on Wednesday, I was working on those days and stuff. It was a lot, man. Then I'd work at night. I was working at like a hockey arena at night. So it was really hard to even get out and play at all, let alone focus. So that's another thing where, a school like DC, there's so many trades there where some of the players might be having a really, really hard time to just be able to have even the ability to practice, right? So,
well, not even that too. Like I beat the shit out of my body every day doing work and trying to play golf, and not that it really affects it, but I mean it affects it to a certain point, right? So like,
it definitely does, and like even just think like your hands and stuff like that too, right? So, but the body gets beaten up. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into it. It's a lot different than maybe, just kind of sitting in front of a textbook or whatever it is, or in front of the computer. But there's different things that players will have to deal with for sure if they're playing at, at a school where it's a trade school, or if they're in a trades program. But for yourself, how did you find the experience? Like when you got here, when you kind of went through the recruiting process, can you kind of walk us through that? Do you remember much of that?
Yeah, there honestly wasn't too much recruiting to it. Just because the Durham Junior Golf Tour there, I think the Durham College is a sponsor of the tour itself. So one thing led to another with the head coach, Mike Duggan. I guess he messaged me on Facebook one day asking if I wanted to go have a chat with him at a restaurant on campus there at 2200 North or whatever it's called, I believe. But yeah, one thing, I guess, just like it's not as good as going down south for a tour of the whole college or university down there. We just sat down for dinner, just chatted what they had to offer. I guess they gave me a little bit of scholarship money, so that definitely helps. And also I believe they brought, I think Ryan Trapp was there, honestly, when we had a chat, if I'm not mistaken, too long ago, especially when COVID, it's in the middle of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, we just sat down for dinner, just chatted what they had to offer, and I guess all they wanted to know what program I wanted to go in, and I guess all the schooling information rather than full on 24/7 golf. But yeah, it was a quick, easy process, that's for sure. And I guess the deal breaker for me was when they offered me some scholarship money compared to how much it would cost going to school. It was almost like a no-brainer. Pretty much didn't cost me a dime compared to, I guess, most people going down south, maybe getting 50% of their tuition paid for, but they're still housing and everything on top of that. So it's definitely a huge difference financially staying down here compared to taking a year off and then grinding my ass off to go Division 1. So yeah, it was a good process. I definitely don't regret it, but definitely Division 1 was I guess it's always a dream of young athletes to go play on national TV just like they did at the Folds of Honor event. They were on Golf Channel or whatever. So it's always I guess a dream of ours to go play on the highest level. But sometimes I guess it just doesn't work out, and life's got a different avenue that it wants to take you to.
Name a better feeling than buying something you know you can take and wear anywhere. Money spent on quality products is money well spent. Even more so when that purchase shows the same versatility as that fake laugh at your boss's dinner party. Why would you spend a fortune on clothes you'll only wear to the golf course when you could buy gear that belongs in any situation? Obviously, we'd all love to be playing 36 this weekend instead of the dreaded farmer's market or baby shower or whatever else you need to do, but that doesn't mean you need a change of clothes. Swannies is your go-to from work to golf to work to baby shower to farmer's market to work to golf and everything else in between. Screws25 at swannies.co. Screws25 at swannies.co for 25% off. Enjoy.
Bryce and I have talked about this plenty of times with some of the, the now pros that are on or the golfers, and Bryce and I can include, we're both very competitive players. Me, maybe not so much, but we're competitive athletes. We always have been. And the ball still has to go in the hole, right? That's something that we say all the time. Ball still got to go in the hole. So it depends on kind of what you put into it, I think, too. I think it's really important, what a player puts into their game, and that's what they're going to get back out, right? So that's kind of, I'm a victim of that this year. I did not go to the driving range. I did not go to the range once this year, and that's why I am absolutely paying for it. But it's kind of one of those things too, where you're gonna have that opportunity to play for a school, and you got to make the best of it, right? So,
Exactly.
how was the where did you guys practice? What were the practice facilities that you guys were typically at? What course were you playing through?
We had I think 2019 we were at Royal Ashburn Golf Course, so they allowed us play and practice there, I guess, anytime we really wanted. But that's something different with me compared to, I guess, the others on the team back in 2019. I kind of did my own thing. I had the privilege of practicing and playing at Coppenwood. So I guess, having that opportunity, I was just grinding my ass off at Coppenwood 24/7 rather than going to team practice. Yes, the team practices, I went maybe once or twice to them. But just on a development side of things, I felt like I could get a little bit more out of my own time and grinding, I guess, with a few other professionals and good amateurs out at Coppenwood. Felt like there's a total different window of practice that I got out there compared to, I guess, going to Royal Ashburn. And yes, the facilities are fantastic at Ashburn, but I guess playing with people that had a different sort of drive for the game. Just exactly where I wanted to be. And I think that reflected on my performance my first year at Durham College. Coming off a decent season in the summer, and then my first college event fired probably something low 70s, top 10, and then second event winning it. Definitely took a different, I guess, it opened my eyes just a little bit more compared to, I guess, most of my teammates that year. But definitely it was a good time practicing, playing with them. Same with the winter season. Didn't really have much my first year up until, I guess, my first year coaching the college team. Didn't really have much, so you're kind of on your own, doing your own thing. And I think that's where my drive to get better was totally different than any other individuals. And I guess that's why I'm, I guess, where I am today, playing golf professionally. And that drive for, I guess, performance seeking, making a paycheck week after week is definitely still there compared to, I guess, others in the college and university level here in Canada.
So I wanted to, sorry, Bryce, I didn't know if you're jumping in there, but I wanted to kind of talk about the wins. So you guys play like 10, 11 events or so in a year, right?
Nah, not even. I think my first year we played five or six individual events, and then straight into OCAAs.
Was that different because of COVID, or is the season always that short? For some reason, I thought it was a little bit longer.
It's always, I guess, ever since I was in school, it's always been that short.
Okay.
And then COVID hit, and now I think we played 3 or 4 events, one day events.
Okay.
And then straight into OCAAs.
So you got to be on, like you don't have much of an opportunity. Like you got to be on, like no matter what.
Yeah, it's just like a Monday qualifier for, I guess, Canadian Open qualifier.
Yeah.
Canadian Open, it's like you either have it or you don't have it that day.
Right. Was the game like, so when you went to that event in Barrie, was the game feeling good? Like we've talked at length with a couple of players, like a couple ones that really stick out in my mind is Cam Kellett kind of talking about like the risk that you have to take in Vim, like Zach Vim, and it's like both talking about having to kind of really adjust your game if it's like a Monday qualifier, one day event, or if you're trying to, I remember the story Zach was telling us with like 4 holes left going 5 deep or something like that because he knew he had to get to like a number. So are you approaching tournaments like that different when you're playing just a one-day event, a one-day college event?
I guess looking back at it now, it was a tough situation. I didn't really have the, I guess, commitment or I guess the experience in one-day events, just like a qualifying event. Any other qualifying events were like 1 or 2 days. So when I went to those events back in 2019, even going into the Canadian Open qualifier this year, I personally think about it as just another round of golf. If I get too caught up in just trying to make a shit ton of birdies, or you have to shoot an exact number, that's where I guess personally my brain gets a little scrambled and just trying to push it just a little too much to some extent. Compared to just being free flowing and just letting your mind roam wherever it wants. I guess that's where my coaching side is now kicking in just a little bit here. The free flowing mind will definitely allow you to adapt athletically to whatever, compared to millions of different thoughts in your mind. You don't know where that's going to lead. From technical thoughts roaming through your mind to performance. Just, I guess, letting it go in other terms, and whatever happens is kind of, I guess, where my mind changed just a little bit heading into just one-day events.
So as a coach now, Nathaniel, like that's kind of a good segue. So as a coach and your experience that you've taken from those events that you can kind of pass down on to players, are you, like, it sounds like you're trying to give them that free flowing mentality, like when they go to an event, maybe have like no restrictions in your game, maybe like just trying to enter the tournament, play your best, deal with what you have that day?
Yeah, I guess that's more of, I guess, accessing the zone just a little bit quicker. I
Right.
guess all athletes, we all have a zone that we're in. I guess at least we hope to get in 24/7 just to seek the highest level of our performance base day to day. But yeah, pretty much, I guess, for golf, especially, there's so many different thoughts roaming around our minds. I guess going from the individual lessons, working on technical things on the range, to performance driven on course. It's a total different ball game when you go
For
on,
sure.
step onto the first tee. You don't have any flat lies 24/7,
Mm-hmm.
other than the tee blocks. But even some tee blocks aren't perfect. Um, so trying to access the zone just a little bit quicker, hopping from the driving range, putting green, or any practice facilities to the first tee is, I guess, the way to access high performance 24/7.
Yeah, I think Tiger called it zeroed. You guys see that?
Yeah, you gotta get
Yeah,
zeroed.
exactly.
Yeah, you gotta get
Yeah, you gotta get
wide,
zeroed.
wide and wide.
Yeah, so like when he was like, yeah, like I know when I'm zeroed, I'm. It's just like such a cool quote, man.
He
It's
doesn't
just like,
take divots.
yeah, it's just so clean, so clean. So, are you guys working on a lot of the stuff that's come up like for us a lot when we're talking with pros or players, college players, whatever it may be, is kind of the mental aspect of the game is getting looked at a bit. Is that something as a coach that you're always trying to develop it, I guess yourself, but is that something that you're working on with the players regularly now?
Yeah, exactly. So mid-season, it's kind of, we just personally, I throw all the technical stuff out the window to some extent, where we just need to go out and perform, and whatever that gives you. I mean, of course, technical things will pop up, but definitely more mental strategies and um, the process to shooting lower scores definitely come up a little bit more mid-season and start season, compared to the winter season, and off season. It's all technical stuff. Even for PGA Tour pros, they're working a little bit more in depth with all the technical stuff rather than just a few days before working on 50 million different things on their swing. Um, but also there is a time and place for both. And yeah, and personally myself, it's a juggling between the both of the lives is definitely the tough side. Like performance wise, I know technically, I guess, what I'm doing wrong, but also mentally, it's hard to almost flip the switch from going from the coaching life to the first tee. It's definitely the tougher side of my, I guess, personal journey right now.
When you're Nathaniel, when you're playing, like so a little bit different to kind of revert back to the playing aspect of it. Can you kind of walk us through like what your approach was on a tournament day? Like you like even just that one day, if you can kind of remember your day in Barrie there, like so do you have a typical routine that you go through? Like are you like a superstitious guy? Like is there something that you're trying to stick with throughout the day? It sounds like you're kind of trying to get into that mental state that you're looking for to be like a peak athlete, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I guess that's all it is for me personally as a feel athlete. It's going to the, I guess there's not much preparation other than just getting course knowledge. I guess picking on the Monday qualifier this year at Oshawa. Basically, not really a home course, but also a home course advantage at the same time. Growing up in the local area, played it many times. So course knowledge was 100% there. Pin locations, I don't think I saw any pin locations that I wasn't familiar with. So that's a huge positive looking into that event itself. So for me personally, it's all feel, just showing up and finding that feeling on the range that'll stick with, I guess, the technical things that I had been working on prior to that. And I guess no superstitions. Personally, my warm up is just showing up to the range and just getting my body loose. I don't really need to feel anything technical other than whatever I've been working on, and just taking that straight to the first tee and just trusting it.
Yeah, so if
Like you
there's
said, you don't really think about the technical stuff once you're in the zone and on the first tee, right? You just kind of let that go to the back of your head and swing your swing, I assume.
Yeah, exactly. It's just a let it fly mentality from there, especially with the driver itself.
Just rely on the practice to be there.
Yeah, exactly. Just trust in the process. And I guess if it doesn't work out, just go back to the drawing board, figure out what's wrong, grind that out even more, and then I guess repeat that process one more time or as many times as possible.
That sounds so great. I tried to do a pre-shot routine this year, which works. It definitely works.
Oh, it's the only thing in my game that I do every time. The only thing.
But every shot result is different for me.
Oh yeah, me too. But at least I try to keep something the same.
Like if I do this the same, it's gonna work out the same, and it's different every time.
Yeah, every time.
Playing army golf out there, as I call it sometimes, but that's one thing. Like I don't know, man. Pro golfers are just like pro athletes in general. It's just it's a different world, man. Like going out there, and I've been lucky enough to caddy with my guy Ziggy a few times, and just kind of getting out on the range and seeing what they go through, and it's just like every single time it's the exact same. Nothing changes every time I've gone with him. It has been the exact same time, just a different location, and goes through the same routine, same like just kind of vibe the whole time. And then hits the same amount of shots, same clubs, whatever it is that he's kind of got for his routine, and it works. Like obviously, like I hardly see the guy miss a fairway, so it's kind of cool to see that type of work, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
you know,
pay
so
off.
pay off and actually like translate to the course, because I have no idea, man. I go to the range, I'm like
just beating balls.
I'm like, it's so good.
Yeah,
like
what
my
do
game,
I want to work
like
on
my
today?
game looks great. Like I feel like I hit a 10-yard fairway at the range, and then I go to the course, and I have no idea. But that's why I'm not a pro golfer, I guess. But
I'd be such a mental case if I was a pro golfer, because I was so superstitious in hockey. Like I had to do everything the same every day, and I feel like if I tried to do that in golf, it would just wouldn't be good.
yeah, when I played hockey, I kind of was more superstitious, like more getting dressed, like all left side first. Like it was always left side first.
I was
like,
never that. I was like, if I once I tape my stick, if the blade touched the ground, like I had to retape it. Like just weird, quirky stuff like that. Like if I didn't eat a granola bar at a certain time, like I'd be a mental case, and like I'd play like crap, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, I guess I had like taped things too, like certain ways I tape my sticks and stuff like that. I didn't like certain spots to be like touched. Yeah, so it's a little bit more. I think it's a little bit more lax in golf, because you're kind of like controlling it on your own too, right? You're not.
Yeah, you have no one interrupting you.
Yeah, you're kind of just doing your own thing. Like you're going through your own bag, your own valuable pouch, whatever it is, to kind of like get whatever it is that you need. So, and then it's cool. Like I've been working with Ziggy a few times when he's out this way, so I kind of like pick up on his mannerisms and stuff like that, and all I try to do is like stay out of his way. And help him however I can. Fill up the water bottle, stuff like that. Obviously get the clubs cleaned up and stuff, but it's you're just kind of there to help like the best you can, right? So yeah, it's
at the tough side of things for us professional golfers, is I guess going about our business individually rather than having a teammate or many teammates by your side 24/7 to, I guess, boost your confidence or just train with 24/7. It's a total mental grind doing it on your own for 8 hours a day and just repeating that process 24/7.
Yeah, you mentioned you guys are up at Coppenwood?
Yeah, that's a blessing right there.
Yeah, we've heard about those practice facilities. I haven't been up there yet. Bryce, have you played up there?
No, I haven't. I've had many chances to. I just have. Is Breener still there?
Jordan Breen, yeah, he's still there.
Nice.
Gordo, both the Gordos.
Yeah.
Chinner's out there. Matthew Javier, new Team Canada guy. Ryan Somerville, Eastern Mich guy. So yeah, we got definitely a lot of players out there. That's for sure.
Ryan Somerville, we're gonna have to reach out to him. We've had we got Coog coming up soon. We've another Eastern Michigan guy. He's doing. I think he's doing. Said he's got something going on right now. I think he's doing qualifiers right now, and then
Corn Ferry qualifying.
Yeah, he's doing Corn Ferry, and then I think he's doing stage 1 right now, and then he's gonna jump on with us. But yeah, we've had a bunch on from Eastern Michigan. Started as way back as like Jake McNulty. You know Jake? He's from this area.
Oh yeah,
Corn Ferry
kid.
Yeah, so I actually carried the bag for Jake, and that's how we got kind of got chatting, or maybe we knew each other a little bit before that, and then I carried for him when he was at Osprey Valley, and then
Oh, yeah.
yeah, he came on the pod like way ages ago.
Yeah, I think it was before me.
Yeah, Jake's got some game. Like that was like one of my
Oh, yeah.
that might have been like the first pro on. But yeah, Jake's got a hell of a game.
He's a
man.
player.
Yeah, he's so
definitely.
good. So good. And an Oshawa guy too. So
Yeah.
but yeah, like
Same with Kellett too. I saw you guys had Kellett on here twice already. Yeah, I played in Monday with him at Oshawa this year.
Yeah, you guys finished I think the same, even or 1 under?
Yeah, I think we're in around that number. Can't
So
remember
on a
exactly
hard
what it
day
was.
too. So
Yeah.
it was Daniel Kim, I
Yeah.
think, went 5 deep and won by 2 or 3. Like that was a tough day, man. Like it was.
Yeah, especially
remember-
the afternoon wave. The
Yeah.
wind started to pick up a decent amount. So I guess Cam and I we got a little lucky with a draw going off of 10 early in the morning with 0 wind. So that's another blessing. Just to get on the right side of the draw.
Well, especially with Oshawa, because I mean, you can't really spray it there. I mean, there's a couple holes where you kind of can, but like it's kind of target golf out there for the most part, and that's why I get crushed out there all the time. But
yeah, it's an old Stanley Thompson design that people think it's just driver.
It looks so easy, and then you just get yourself into the trickiest situations, and then you're short-sighted here, short-sighted there. You're blocked out by these huge, massive trees here, there. Like it'll sneak up on you. I feel like,
especially the greens. Like I guess playing with Cam and another dude, they're like, we haven't seen greens like this in a decent amount of time. Like they're so difficult with all the slopes and undulations. Like if you miss 2 feet left of a pin, you're 35 feet away.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
15, 16 are ridiculous. 13's ridiculous. 5's ridiculous. 4's ridiculous.
Yeah, even that little par 3 is tough too. If you gotta.
Yeah, they took the back bunker out, so it's not. You can miss long. Your miss is long now, even though with the slope it's still ridiculous. But I mean, you're hitting 52 or pitching wedge into it. You're spinning it off the green 90% of the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of movement in those. Nathaniel, have you played Port Hope?
I've never played Port Hope. No,
you don't want to.
No, it's like
eat you up.
The greens are like way tougher, tougher than Oshawa.
But they're not as fast as Oshawa, though, are they?
It depends. Like this year, they were a little bit slower, but last year, and then when we have the junior match play championships, they're glass,
speed them up,
like absolute glass, man. And it's just like, why are you punishing these like 14-year-old kids? Like it's just so unfair, man. Like you're like you're touching something, it's running like 17 feet past the hole, but I shouldn't say they're just different. They're just very old, some of them, and some of them have a ton of movement. There's a lot of work being done on the course in the next few years, but yeah, if I'm kind of up in the air if I'm looking there at Oshawa next year. So if I'm out there though, we gotta link up and go out and play, man. It's nails, man. It's such a beautiful course too. Like you're playing half the holes on the water, which is really cool. It's like an experience we don't usually have, right? And if you play it early in the year, it's kind of cool. The water's like teal, looks like it's 5 degrees out, and it kind of looks like you're in a tropical, I don't know, just like island or something. It's cool, really cool spot. Every hole is a little different. Every time you play it, it's different. It's a pretty cool track. We'll definitely have to go out and check it out. But you're in this area. What's that?
I haven't been there. I'm surprised I haven't been there. I grew up in before I moved to Port Perry. I grew up in Bowmanville. Yeah. So it's literally, I guess, down the road, down the highway from me. It's just
15 minutes from there, man. It's and it's old. It's like the 5th oldest course in Canada. A lot of people don't realize that, but it's been around since the 1800s, right? So it's up there, man. It's older than Oshawa, older than all those old style courses, but it's fun. It's a fun course. It'll be up, but it's a lot of fun though. But you're in the area, man. So we're thinking about doing some live pods and stuff. So we might have to get something going, and we got a spot. I was telling you before we got started here down in Oshawa, so we might have to
just at Uptown Golf there.
Yeah, we might have to get together and have a chat or something like that, man. This was really good. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
Nathaniel, this was great, man. Thanks again.
Yeah,
and
I appreciate it.
Best of luck. It I know it's kind of qualifier. It's going to be qualifier season for you soon coming up too. So or whatever it is that you're doing in the future. But let's have you back on, man. This was a great chat and kind of see how the game's going.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. And yeah, definitely you got to run it back some point in time in the future.
He's out in my ball in the course where I tee up. I lose the ball and I re-up. I miss a fairway, I probably end up in the ocean or maybe the beach. And I'm on a par 5 and I'm finna go reach it. Second was blind, I ain't see it. Feel like it might be an albatross. Work case